On September 29, 2025, a New York courtroom fell silent as Charlie J., once celebrated as a rising star in Fintech, stood to hear her fate. The 33-year-old entrepreneur, once a Forbes 30 under 30 honoree, was sentenced to 85 months, just over 7 years in federal prison. The crime: defrauding JPMorgan Chase out of $175 million in one of the most audacious startup scandals in recent memory. Javice's story began with promise. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, she launched a startup called Frank in 2016. The company promised to simplify the complicated world of student financial aid applications. Her idea attracted investors, media attention, and tens of thousands of users. By 2021, JPMorgan Chase saw Frank as a gateway to millions of new student customers and acquired the company for $175 million. On the surface, it looked like a dream exit, but beneath the hype, the numbers didn't add up. Prosecutors later revealed that Frank had far fewer than 300,000 real users. Javice, however, claimed there were more than 4 million. To back up the illusion, she allegedly hired a data scientist to fabricate user data, purchased additional information from outside sources, and presented the package to JPMorgan as proof. The bank bought it literally and closed the deal. But when JPMorgan tried to use Frank's database for outreach, the scheme began to unravel. By 2023, the Department of Justice and the SEC were investigating. In 2025, after a high-profile trial, Javice was convicted of wire fraud, bank fraud, securities fraud, and conspiracy. The jury deliberated for less than 2 days before returning a guilty verdict. At her sentencing, Javice broke down in tears as the judge described her actions as deliberate, calculated, and corrosive to public trust. While he criticized JPMorgan for its stupidity in failing to catch the fraud, he made clear that Javice alone bore responsibility for orchestrating the deception. The punishment was severe: 7 years in prison, the forfeiture of $22 million in bonuses and profits, and an order to pay $287 million in restitution. Though she remains free on bail while pursuing an appeal, the fall from grace is stark. Javice's saga has become a cautionary tale about the darker side of startup culture, where the pressure to show explosive growth can tempt founders to cross ethical lines. It also raises uncomfortable questions about corporate oversight. How could one of the world's largest banks fail to catch such glaring discrepancies before spending $175 million? From a celebrated innovator to a convicted fraudster, Charlie Javice's 7-year sentence is more than a personal downfall. It's a reminder of the high stakes of ambition, the fragility of trust in finance, and the steep price of deception in an industry built on promises.